Hello, everybody, and welcome to another stream. So hopefully the audio is coming in okay compared to yesterday. I managed to actually get my headset working properly, and at least from the stats in OBS, it looks a little bit better, with this little thing moving back and forth. So hopefully you can also hear me a little bit better than before. Okay, a quick update on the crashes that we had yesterday. One thing that I was thinking that might be causing it after trying out kind of removing the RAM modules and putting them back in was one thing that I did do uh, kind of like right around where this issue started happening, and that was to upgrade my graphics driver. And if today is an indication of it working, well, not working, but because I reverted to a version that's 2 releases back, but I haven't had a single crash since then, and I'm hoping that's what might have been the issue. I mean, I'm not holding my breath, but so far so good. I haven't had any, and like I said, any crashes after I reinstalled this older version of the driver. Okay, another update was I recovered kind of the enemy truck. So now this guy is in here and firing. Oh, of course, once I put the turret on top. Also, I got the AI working and kind of worked on the behavior tree a little bit because it wasn't, there was some issues with it. And so now I'll jump in and show you how that behaves. Hey, Gitish. Hello, and Atlantica. Welcome, welcome. I'm having a good weekend actually. It's kind of a little cold-ish, though. 24 Fahrenheit is kind of a heat wave sometimes, in as you probably know. But yeah, it's been pretty good. It was a little disappointing yesterday with all the crashes happening. But now that I got this older driver in, fingers crossed, it's gonna be okay. All right. So another thing that I wanted to share with you guys is, and it might be helpful to some because to me at least it was extremely helpful. So when I did migrate my project, because like I mentioned, it was uh, it was ballooning to kind of a big size, and there was a ton of stuff that I wasn't actually using, and I migrated to a new project. So uh, not sure if part of the, using external actors or any other combination might have caused this, but I ended up with a ton of static meshes in here that had no static mesh. So when you go into build and use the map check, what you end up is I was ending up with a ton of error. Now these ones are just related to like uh, issues with some collisions. This is nothing, but it was like, I think 1800 or something like that of these warnings for the map check. And what that was causing was it was I'm not probably wasn't affecting anything in a really horrible way, but there was a bunch of actors that had no static meshes, so bad. Um, oh, thank you, Atlantica. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, I'm happy it's back up and running. Like I said, it was not related to the project as much as it was to the drivers apparently for my video card. So, as I was saying, there's like all these. I had all these warnings in the map check, that, and I can show you actually how one of these look because, and it should also help for people that use world partition because I got tripped by it for a little bit because let's first take a look at how this might happen. Let me place an actor into the world and let's just do maybe. That's probably not such a good example because it's got a pretty badly set up. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, so I have this box. stack of boxes, right? So if I go in here and I clear this, the asset is still there, but it's like there's nothing in it. So if I was to run, like right now, let's take a look. So map check is 45. So let's do another map check. And let's see, that should be 46 because of one of these. And I'm not sure where it would be. Maybe, what's the name of it? It's SM Boxes group. So let's see, is it somewhere in here? SM dinner. Let me see, which one could this be? That's not it. Um, this is a good example here for this little item that has just null static property here. But I was trying to find the one that I just added. I'm not sure why it's so difficult to track down. Ah, there you go. It's this one right here. Okay. So when this happens, I had a ton of these. Like I had um, uh, you know, 12, 1,300 of them. And get this, yeah, it's yeah, so the asset properties are deleted some and like if I change this back to select one of the like an actual static mesh, it's going to be just fine. But if you have a ton of them and probably no use for them like I did, how do you I wanted to get rid of them, right? So what I ended up doing, and I've kind of played with this before, and so I've created this little let me see, where is it? Assets. I've created this editor utility blueprint. And so what this does, let's go into it real quick. You can run this in the editor. And basically I overrode the run event. And this is a little bit different. And this is what I wanted to bring up because it's different if you have world partition versus the regular setup. And via the Unreal Editor subsystem, I can get the editor world. Then I'm going to get all actors of class, and this is the static mesh actor. And from that, looping over all the items, I'm checking to see if in the static mesh component, the static mesh is not valid. And if it is not valid, I'm just going to destroy the actor and get rid of all of those. And so that uh, removed, because this one, when you have one of these, you can just, right click it and run editor utility blueprint. You know, tread carefully, you don't want to destroy things that you don't want. So I've done quite a few tests before actually going all in with this. The one thing about this is it will not be able to do anything if you have level instances. So in my case, you probably know that I'm using level instances for some of these areas. So like the motel itself, right? This one's a level instance, and it will not uh, access what's in the level instance. So what you need to do is actually need to go into edit if this is something that you'd find useful. So you go into edit, and in here, you could do the whole map check, and it's gonna, in my case, it's gonna return. There's some errors, but mostly due to overridden materials, so I'm not too concerned about those. But at this point, if you were to run your editor utility blueprint, it would clear out what's inside of this level or in this level instance. So at that point, once things have been cleared, you can commit the changes and go back into the kind of the main world. So that was another update that I wanted to share with you guys, and hopefully maybe a useful tidbit of information. Another thing that I've been looking into, and I'm not sure at this point how much time I'm going to spend on it. I'm going to try and share it with you guys. It's in the level blueprint, there's a way, and I'm not very familiar as to how it works. There's a way to see if streaming has completed. So if you're like me and you use world partition, you might want to figure out when everything has been loaded because it's not it doesn't they don't get all loaded at the same time apparently. I mean, it's kind of understandable, but there's no real way of tracking it besides this. So I've had kind of minimal success with it, but I'm still kind of investigating how this can behave because it seems to be working off of data layers. And all the kind of tutorials and information I'm finding out there on data layers, it seems to be related to older versions of Unreal Engine 5. So they're not really so much up to date because they seem to be handled a little bit different in 5.2. And I'm still looking into that. I was just hoping that it might control the way the level gets loaded a little bit better, especially um, when I'm running it in editor, not as a package project. Okay, so that's the other update from a functional standpoint. From a lighting standpoint, I've been playing around with Lumen, and the more I play around with it, the more I like it. And it is pretty cool. Like I'm gonna go into this building here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So yeah, I am quite happy with the result of that when uh, um, when it comes to Lumen. This is just running on high at the moment, so it could get far better. One thing to note is with um, and this is it's not necessarily Lumen related, but if I was to move this around, you'll see there's like a little bit of a light leakage, kind of down here, and it happens at certain angles of the directional light. But if this one was to switch to cinematic, that should be gone, I think. There he goes. So yeah, that looks much better. But again, it's cinematic is not going to run on my video card. But still, even on my video card, it's still pulling in, like 15, 16 frames. So I'm assuming on a modern video card, it's gonna run at, 30, 40 easy, and that's on cinematic. So yeah, but yeah, let's go back to high. But even on high, the other thing is this particular asset has very thin walls, so that doesn't really help with the light leakage. As you can see, they're like extremely thin, which, from a design standpoint, this is how one of these boxes would be like. But and so I wanted to share a little bit of what I did here because this is just a post-process volume that is inside of this. So let's take a look at a little bit of what I've done to set this thing up. And first, I wanted to share, kind of this part here with the exposure because that's um, one of the most important parts of it. Yeah. Gitish 15, 16 in edit is probably around 35 on package, I guess. You know what? That's another thing that I forgot to mention. I'm also doing some I still have a lot of few fixes to do to get the project packaged as a test, and like I'm hoping that I can get some folks to actually test it out. Probably very to no functionality, just like walking around, and but I'm hoping to get that done here in a little while. So yeah, I'd be definitely curious to see if how it runs once it's packaged. I'm not sure if it's going to be that kind of. It'd be awesome if it would be that kind of improvement in performance. But I guess I'll only find out once once I package it. So with the with the lighting, a demo showcase. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it necessarily a demo. It's literally just kind of being able to walk around. So the pre-alpha pre-walking simulator state. But the main thing that I'm interested in is performance and how it works on a few different machines with people, whoever might be willing to give it a try. But I'll definitely let folks know and get some hopefully get some people interested in trying it out. But yeah, okay. So let's go back to the um, to the lighting here. So as I was saying, I went with the exposure, and by default, this is how these are set up. And of course, it's not gonna, it still looks decent, but it's really blown out. And the one thing that I don't really like about this being so blown out is that the eye adaptation, and you'll see what I'm talking about, is not, I mean, you can probably adjust it with the speed up and speed down, but it's kind of, it looks a little odd, like, yeah, once you get to this end, it gets a little bit brighter, but then once you look around, it's still, it just brightens up the area. So yeah, that stuff, I'm not a big fan of it. And that's why I wanted to just be kind of um, like because this if you adjust it from -10 to something else, then this is just going to be um, it's not going to do the adaptation anymore. Not sure what you call it, but um, yeah. Uh, a performance benchmark utility. Yeah, I guess that's what you could call it. And you know loading issues, other things like that. And I would love to get people trying it. Okay, so that's as far as interior lighting, and of course, this is a really small box. It's probably not indicative of what might it look on a bigger, uh, you know, bigger setup, bigger interior. But yeah, for now, I'm actually really happy with how this is. And of course, if I was to change this from like a sunset to daytime, it's still looking pretty good. And like I said, depending on the angle, there might be a little bit of this light leakage. So just trying to adjust the angle of the light itself. And let me see if I can get it to a position where it kind of comes through that uh, through the door. There you go. And yeah, one thing is like some of these assets that have a pretty high or a pretty low roughness, they might be um, they might throw in a little bit of this noise. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm still trying to work out and see if it could be something related to some of the light leaking on um, in the post-process volume. So the post-process volume has a couple of settings that I also wanted to show. I forgot to show those. So there is also some settings in here related to the Lumen and kind of the diffuse color boost, skylight leaking, and I'm not sure if any of these might affect or make it worse for for this noise that happens. So, this one's I'm thinking maybe this could cause that, the diffuse color boost. The one thing that I have noticed is that some of these settings uh, in here, when it comes to the quality of it, they don't seem to affect the frame rate too much. So, yeah. Oh, hey Tokuzodo. I'm programming in 3GS for a 3D page. It's horrible to program. Too much bugs. I'm guessing. I mean, I'm not entirely sure if it's a 3D web page or a 3D application, though. So yeah, as I was saying, when it comes to let's try and bump this up to max and see if we can adjust the final gather quality. Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't affect the frame rate too much, and I think that removed there. It doesn't seem to be as bad as they were. Let's also do this one to max and scene detail. I'm not entirely sure what the scene detail does. Control the size of instances that can be represented in Lumen scene. Okay, that brought it down. That reduced it quite a bit. So quite happy with that. Okay, and I also mentioned the AI. So let's jump into game real quick, into game mode, and we'll take a look at kind of the AI behavior. And I think I might have moved my player start, and I think it might be visible by the AI now. So yeah, he just saw me. But let's try to avoid him. And as you can see, there's a little bit of an issue with the idle fighting animation. You know, he can follow me up in inside these buildings now as well. I needed to make an adjustment to to the navigation mesh, but and now I think he can't see me. Come on, buddy, over here. Oh yeah, you're right. That's a great point, Gitish. I never thought of that might be in the yeah, so he can navigate around here everywhere. And I just need to adjust. I think I might have during the migration I might have lost the punching animation, or not the punching, but the idle animation from him punching. So yeah, one thing that I haven't tested, yeah, I was thinking that it might be able to climb on top, but it's not quite dying light, which actually was gonna bring it up as well, because over the weekend I played Dying Light 2, the DLC Bloody Ties, and I really enjoyed Dying Light and some of the kind of the Dying Light and Dying Light 2, and some of the quests. And this is kind of from a game, the game or like the mission design aspect of things. And in Dying Light 2, I ran into a couple of missions. This is again something that I'm trying to stay away in my project. Kind of these types of missions where it is um, it is frustrating. It's an easy mission, but it is frustrating because it has you go around looking for clues. Like it was this one mission in Dying Light, this DLC, where you needed to find clues to open a safe. And I think the code was like 999002 or something like that. Anybody playing the game. But so there was O 02 somewhere written on the wall. I kind of scribbled on the wall. The 99, there was like a thing on the wall saying 999, but not 990. So not 9990. It was 999. And where that extra zero came from, I had no idea. But I ended up just like looking at a video online because like everybody in the comments was really frustrated with that quest. So, kind of a pet peeve of mine when it comes to some of these designs, when it comes to designing quests, if um, they're just sometimes, I'm sure like the designer was thinking, oh, this is clever, but I'm not sure how many people actually play tested it and were like, dude, where did you put it? Anyways, that was just a little bit of a side note. I love his T-pose animation state. Yeah, and it works from the waist down, which is very nice to have. Okay. Okay, so for today, I was hoping to resume what we were so rudely interrupted yesterday with all the crashes. And like I said, fingers crossed, reinstalling the graphics driver is what fixed it. Like I said, I haven't had a crash yet, knock on wood, but yeah. All right, so let's also place one around this little box and see how things look inside. Pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. It could be brought down a little bit. It's a little too bright outside at least. So let's see, we can probably do the exposure compensation to be at 0. There we go. So that way you can also see what's going on outside. The transition seems to be okay. So that's good. All right. Yeah, like I said, what I was hoping to do is kind of start, let's call it cluttering the area and adding some things inside of these box houses. There's going to be, like I said, some um, before you get to climb up um, the antenna, there will be a couple of things that you need to find out here. So yeah, let's get into it. I was trying to write down a couple of things that what would make sense to have inside of these little I'm not sure like what you would call these. I think they're called like a trailer, or at least the asset is, but box trailer maybe. Anyways, and of course the main thing that I think it's so easy to add our boxes because we were just looking at boxes and just adding some of these around here that should like kind of uh, fill the area quite a bit. The only thing is some of these assets, not sure if they are like the scale of them compared to the player. So yeah, please don't put small graphical clues when playing. I had a mission to follow footsteps in rain. I couldn't see the footsteps because you were playing. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. Talking about footsteps, that's another one that was a very frustrating point for me. In Yeah, these boxes seem a little big for the player size, and that was in Dying Light. That was a frustrating point for me, where there's like this mechanic where you can track footsteps with like a survivor sense or something like that, and sometimes you can barely tell where they are. So yeah, and depending if it's like raining or if it's night or something like that, or if it's really bright outside. I think my mission was during the day, and it was so bright that there were times that I couldn't tell where the steps were. So eventually I got frustrated and I switched to night, and then it kind of glows a little bit. But yeah, I totally feel that. I'm not a fan of those. So yeah, definitely I don't think I'm gonna have anything like that that is not tested before, properly. And so I'm I'm a kind of a in the middle. I like some challenge, but I don't like something that is frustratingly that it's to the point where it just frustrates you. So um, yeah, I'm totally with you on that, Gitish. All right, so this one, I'm not sure how I feel. These boxes look good, but they're kind of a big scale, or not big scale, but they're like oversized. So what I want to try is, you know me as a fan of this IScatter tool. So I'm going to try and add that in and see if I can scatter some boxes around here. Let's see. And by the way, Tish, if you can tell me, how's the audio coming in? Is it pretty okay? I'm hoping it's better now with the actual headset. All right, let's see, where can we grab some of these meshes? Oh yeah. Well, so actually not an upgrade because I had this before. Um, it probably sounds a little bit different, due to some of the changes in settings from the new version of OBS. But yeah, it's I'm glad that it's better. All right, so let's place some of these boxes just inside of this. This is what I'm at least this is what I'm going for. And let's try and get this one to be on a, where was that? On a spline, planar down. So I want to make it so that it's, I mean, I'm actually okay with planar. Let's see if we can make this a little bit smaller. So something like that. Let's maybe 100 by 100 by 100. And now I'd like to make it so that these boxes are not like overlapping each other. I know there was a way to do this. I don't think it's just ignore self. There's like a part of this of I kind of thought there was a way to get these to not overlap each other, but I think I'm not sure if there's like the way it's being done, there's like a ray being shot from like the middle of it and it doesn't really know the bounds of it. I'll have to take to look into it a little bit more. Yeah, and that was my next option. I wanted to try this as a kind of a fun thing to do because you probably already know I love this tool. And but if that doesn't work, then it's just gonna be. I'm gonna spend a couple of minutes here to see to see if that can be done, and kind of stacking things. That's what I'm hoping for. So the one thing that I actually haven't looked at is how is the collision for these boxes. Let's take a quick look. So show simple collision. The collision is fine. And let's see, so it's in a distribution method is down. Okay, that I was gonna say that feels a little bit better. There seems to be some stacking going on. But I don't think they stack on. I'm not sure what they stack on, so let's do a little bit of a smaller number here. Yeah, so see, they somewhat it somewhat works to some extent though. Let me try removing this one. Yeah, see, like kind of works, but it's a little bit messy, I would say. And if you were to throw in like a rotation, I am not sure how that's. Let's actually play with that a little bit. So 0 to, let's do 180. Okay, that's looking okay. And the scale fall off, I think this is a little bit too weird. So let's do 0.82 and set these to 0 here. Yeah, so it kind of works, I would say. The the better way I would think about doing this is something like this, which should be interesting. Let's see how that looks, because I've tried this before with simulating physics. So let's add a couple of these meshes in here, and we'll see how they behave. And also if I can recall how to properly do this stuff. All right, so if I recall correctly, there was something about this where you can select them, set them to simulate physics, and then actually just simulating here. Let's see if that works. Yeah, the only thing, there they go. Nice. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now the one thing, I think you need to turn this off, and then wasn't there a second step that you needed to do? I couldn't recall. And set its position. So is it um, keep simulation changes? All right, there we go. Okay, so that's pretty cool, isn't it? And I think I like that, to be honest with you. It's I can merge the meshes together now if I so choose to, to reduce some of the draw calls, but they can also be set on the grid, like with I think I mentioned this before, where you can go in and let me see, where was that grid? Here, and just say small, I think I've called it small assets. And let me see, is it, there was especially loaded? Perfect. Okay, so now these assets should not be loaded unless the player is within a certain distance. And I think that's uh, probably fine for small assets, not really needing to merge them into one object. But oops, let's actually going to quickly save just to be on the safe side. Let's play in the selected viewport. And I think it might be a little too, I'm not sure if these ones are going to be visible. Let's actually go into, okay, so they're right there. Let me see if they disappear. Yeah, I would have expected these assets here to not be visible from that far away, having them on, all right, dude, relax. Let's see how far away do I need to be for them to hopefully, kind of not show. Let me try and actually go this way. So they're still there, and now it's just too far. Shouldn't they shouldn't be loaded at that distance. I'm kind of wondering, it is specially loaded. And let's take a look at the world settings here. And I'm gonna try with small assets. Let's make it a little. Let's make it really small and see if that helps. But I do like this the simulation because right now they're just like you know uh, placed all over the place, I guess. Let's see if okay, so they're not visible now. That's what I was there you go. So I think this is fine for assets like that, you know, where they're like way out here. And if you look at the outliner as well, when it comes to the actors, right now there's like 2,404. So there's the added ones. And yeah, that's what's nice about the world partition. You know, you get especially when it's like an open world project, I think. So that was cool. You know, I think another one because now that we did this, I'm gonna try this again, but there's while it's simulating, we can do some pretty fun, cool stuff with this. So I'm gonna get some, you know, move them up a little bit and make even more of them. All right, so now let's get these to simulate physics again. I think I need to check that. All right, so simulate physics. So now if we simulate physics, let's actually um, let them settle once it loads. There they go. All right, so something that I wanted to try for a while, it's this. There. Oh, come on, come on. Let's just kind of mess them up a little bit like this. Okay, cool. And there's actually I'm sorry about the because like DUI, some for whatever reason, whenever I simulate DUI gets loaded. And oh, actually, there was what did we call that? Keep simulation changes. So I think if I press K, I don't have to select anything. Okay, perfect for 9 actors. And I think I can stop this. Ah, shoot, I should have. I guess you need to have them selected. So yeah, but that's pretty cool. I spent hours just playing with the simulations. Yeah, it's a cool kind of thing. So just a question, even though backside calling is enabled, why are the vertices on the underground mesh also shown? Um, so the underground mesh, what was the were you are you referring to the boxes, Gitish, or and you know when it comes to cooling, I'm not entirely sure if it actually works as expected, to be honest with you. But yeah, let me know which one of the underground mesh you're referring to. Okay, well, so these ones, let's actually simulate again, and I'll try and position them. Or I might just actually that's pretty cool like that. So let's not mess around with it too much. So there we go. Pretty cool little stack of boxes there. The landscape. So let me jump into game mode, and you can tell me what you're looking at. So was this the ones you were talking about? Dude, come on, get off of me. Yeah, so these are actually, I'm glad you asked. These are actually these meshes here. So yeah, I would expect these to show because they do show in the window. But like I said, as far as culling goes, I'm not entirely sure if it works as we think culling should work. Maybe it does. I just don't really have a really good understanding of it. My apologies for that, but yeah. But that mesh that you were looking at, they're actually these ones here. This kind of outline of this ledge here. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if we can fill in this space in here, and which is always tough to come up with ideas of what to add in here. And I was thinking of maybe some kind of like electrical type of devices, kind of things. I have this um, little item. Come on. That provides a little bit of probably nothing that is used anywhere in anything, but you never know. All right, and let's do something on the walls here. Even though this particular asset has collisions, it seems like the meshes do not work so well on it, which is kind of odd. Not entirely sure why that's happening. So let's also put like some of these utility boxes outside of it. Where was that? Some things like this. Sorry, I just saw your message. Any expected completion time for the project? It's definitely going to take a little bit, some time longer, just because it's kind of ambitious, but I'm definitely planning for, like I said, the this little demo walk around walking simulator type thing within the next few weeks here, and with some basic functionality. But yeah, there's still quite a few things that I still need to build. The map is not going to be completely accessible like everywhere, but I'm hoping like areas like this, the town, that those should be um, those should be accessible. So like this area over here to be fully accessible, with the motel, like the convenience store, the warehouse, this little town area to be accessible, maybe not editable, for the houses. Also, the um, kind of being able to go all the way back into here, where the dam is, so that to be accessible as well. And yeah, pretty much everywhere to be navigable. Maybe I'm gonna have this closed off for now. But yeah, everything else I'm hoping to have navigable. Also with the ability to drive that little SUV around. just to be able to get between places a little quicker. And that's also kind of a high point, not a high point, but like an interesting thing to test on collisions. And also collisions along with, I've shown this some time ago as to the water, right? So if you were to go into the water with the vehicle, what happens, you know? So moving a little too quick now. And yeah, so also testing kind of the water, you know, swimming and you know, testing that out a little bit. Let me adjust now that I'm looking here. Let me adjust the fog a little bit. It's kind of a little too strong. Let me see, where was that adjustment? Is it in the fog height fall off? There we go, something like that. But but yeah, so you know, testing the swimming and like underwater movement because part of a way to enter some of these facilities is going to be on the water. And yeah, hopefully that makes sense. You know, kind of some of the potential interactions. You know, like you know, climbing up the ladder and you know, so uh, collisions is my main type of thing, I guess. But as far as the completion date, sorry to kind of take the long route to explain this. Yeah, I don't really have a complete set at the moment, you know, and that's mainly because, you know, there's, um, you know, things like life that can interfere with this with the project, and you know, like uh, work has the potential to become a lot more busy in the coming months just because of a new project that we might be involved. So I I might not be able to work after hours as much as I used to, and that's why I rather not promise anything that I can't, you know, 100% deliver. Because yeah, if this was my main type of, say, income and, you know, um, I think it might have been easier because, you know, my entire focus would have been dedicated to it. And I might be better at planning things, you know. I know that I have a set amount of hours that I'm going to work on this, you know, like, okay, today I know that it's going to be like a 9 to 5 working on the project, so I got a 40-hour week at least. But if work is busy and I finish the day at 6, then okay, I'm going to get another maybe 2 or 3 hours working on the project on a good day. That's, you know, aside the point with anything else happening. So, you know, that's why it's really difficult to estimate. I hate to say, uh, you know, because I know there's been like some like rude people that say, it's going to be ready when it's ready. No, I don't want to say that, you know, because that's rude. You know, it's going to be ready when it's ready. You guys just wait. No, that's horrible. I think that's a horrible thing to say. But but yeah, I can't say, you know, yeah, it's gonna be ready in 2 weeks. Yeah, hopefully you guys understand. And I really appreciate everybody that's been, you know, watching this for so long. It's been a definitely a work in progress to say the least, just because of the, you know, the amount of work and you know, it's it's really as indie as it can get, right? Unless you just say, Chat GPT, make me a video game. uh, yeah. And to be honest, even if I had that opportunity, I wouldn't do it because this is where I'm having fun, right? Is in doing this. So if I don't have this to do it, then okay, then why even do it? I mean, I get it. There's like a financial aspect of it, so thinking, okay, this is, I got to provide this by a certain date. So people that have to do that, then yeah, okay, I understand you. But for me, that I'm doing this for fun is, you know, I'm trying, at least I'm trying not to rush it. So I'm back to my little tool here, and as you can tell, I definitely this tool has a great use for this kind of fencing type of and just randomly placing items. But yeah, it's a little bit difficult to use it when and I like I said, I still need to I'm probably going to reach out to the developer on their Slack channel because they're really uh, they're kind of the example of a marketplace asset that that I really enjoy supporting. Very responsive and helpful, even though the plugin itself um, is a pretty cheap plugin, especially. And so I'm gonna figure out if there's a way to actually stack things, which could be cool. I mean, it definitely would be, but I'm gonna try and see if I can show them the example of what I'm trying to do with those boxes and see what can be made to get them to stack and stack properly, not in a way of kind of overlapping with um, the ones next to them, right? Because that's what we were running into. Like they were stacking, but they were still overlapping the ones that were right next to them. Am I almost on the right point with this one? Yeah, I think it's good. Uh, yeah, well, that's awesome. I mean, I think it's that's another thing that um, you know, that I'm happy about doing. Kind of if anybody's taking something out of this whole streaming, if it's, just getting a little inspired or, kind of, hey, you know what, you motivated me to keep going. That's for me, that's a win. So I'd be very happy if everybody feels like that. Okay, so back to one of the things that we were looking at yesterday is, and not that I'm thinking this is not very, this fence is kind of short, but it kind of is, like in a way of let's kind of put the player next to it, and yeah, so it's fine. I mean, you're not going to be able to climb over it, that's for sure, but it also I think I like it to be more like imposing more. So I want to choose the other set of let me see, do I have a, no, I don't have the other set of these, which is a little taller. And let me see if I can find it because it's kind of hard to read which ones are tall and which ones are short from this particular package. This is a really good example of how modular this is, of how modular a package on the marketplace should be. This is, I think, a really good example of it. All right, so let me see if could it be this one? Yeah, I think that might be the one. Scale-wise, it seems to be. Let's try also replacing this one here. And this one is the 5. Let's see which one we want to do. I think it might be, there we go. Okay, perfect. And let's adjust this one here. And I think it's actually almost where it's supposed to be. I think I might have moved it off a little bit. There we go. All right, so that seems to be, yeah, there you go. That's pretty good as far as how they join. And I think actually this one, I'm very, not sure why I'm becoming pretty particular about this, but let's see, this one here. Nope, not 11, but 13. And I think that should be good enough. All right, so now let's replace some of the other ones around here. Excuse me about that. Hopefully nobody's eardrums got blown off. All right, so I got this corner that I need to place it, and it's the one with the 5. So there we go. That's actually pretty good. I'm trying to also kind of match them in here with this IScatter tool. And the awesome part about it is, and I'm guessing I'm not really picking out the right one because this one has the little circles things at the top of with the barbed wire. And this one was, I think, let me see, 5-4. Is this the 5? I think it's actually the 5-3. Let's try this one. I think this one might be it. Yep, that's it. So 5-3 is what we were looking for. So let's do this one for the corner as well. There. Okay, so that's good. And then these ones go alongside. I do like that size. It's a little bit more, kind of a little bit larger. And there we go. We have that one. They seem to be coming together pretty darn good over here. Yeah, that's actually kind of almost dead on. All right, and let's grab one more of this one piece here because it's already set up. And I'm going to try and bring it to this end. And we'll also do this little stretch. Hey, Gitish, thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah, have a good rest, and uh, as always, have a great Monday and the rest of the week coming up. I'll hopefully I'll see you next week. All right, let's try and place these. There we go. I think that's where it should be. And we need to get this taller one for the corner. There we go. And then also if we're working on the corners, let's get this one here as well. And here. And then these ones, I think this one might be also the scatter tool. Excellent. And where was that? Should be here. There we go. All right, they come together somewhat close here. Not perfectly close, but let's try and bring them come together. There we go. Almost there. You got it. There it is. Okay, and this one might be a little bit tougher just because the cool thing about this is that you can like just use your mouse wheel to move these, and there we go. That's good there. The only thing here is that this one I need to flip it around, which is actually pretty cool to do in this tool. So there it is. Now I need to figure out exactly where I'm ending up on this side. And I should be good over there, but I think I'm missing one piece. So let's extend this out. And I need one more of these instances. Where's the instances? 13, 14. There we go. That's pretty good. And the whole actor needs to be moved off a little bit on the X. Oh, not the X, my bad. On the Y. There it goes. And the X just a little bit. Perfect. I mean, almost perfect. It's not fully perfect, but let me see. Is this one? Yeah, that's probably not completely it, but it's going to be as close as it gets for now. I'm quite okay with that. All right, so back to this. Oh, and one thing I forgot is this should have also had a corner. So yeah, I did go one. I had the right number before. I went one too much. All right, so let's place the corner here. And then this one should have been like it was, 13 instances. And let's just move it down. There we go. I'm going to try and match it over here. That's good there. Let's see how this one over here comes together with this. Hey, Helion, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. All right, let's try and place this one as best as we can. Like that. And this one. There we go, right there. Yeah, I'm guessing there is like a little bit of a difference in positioning here that I can't really get these to line up perfectly, but this is gonna have to do. I mean, this is better. The modularity for this is actually better than most, especially because it's coming down to, kind of pairing these, where these join together. And then the hard part is with this particular mesh. Like if this wire mesh is not perfectly tileable, you might end up with some of these issues, but this is just minor. All right, so let's replace these ones here. And this one as well. And try and place them so they're linked properly. Okay, that's good. So see, like here, these like actually link up together perfectly. I'm not entirely sure why in here this one did not, but then again, I'm just, like I said, I'm just being too picky. All right. And now let's also get this this gate to be right here. Actually, it was good where it was right there, so I'm gonna need to make a couple of these, couple more of these, and move them down. So like this. And one more. There we go. And I think this would be a good test on how modular things are really going to be in here. Let me see about this particular piece because I don't think I need the little tall section. And let's see which one I have. I don't think there is one that doesn't have the the little it only has like the mesh. Seems like they all have a little hole there, so I might just leave it the way it is there. That's fine. And then these ones in here. Oh, one thing I didn't notice is I think this one needs to be flipped like that. Also trying to guide myself by the points where these things are connecting here. Hey, GG Jam. I like that. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hopefully I said that right. So this is called, just like the name of the stream, it's a video game called On Your Own, because I am working on this on my own. And I'm not sure if that's how I came up with it, but uh, let's go with it. That's where it came from. So it's an action adventure first-person shooter, and story-based single player. It's kind of I'm definitely taking, you probably noticed, some inspiration from like the Far Cry and Days Gone kind of environment. Uh, I think to note is it's not a horror game because I think everybody that joins the stream, that's their first question. Are you making a horror game? And I hopefully not to disappoint anybody, but I am not. Oh, come on, this is so difficult to move it there. So yeah, it's the protagonist is comes enters the world through probably overused already, but a plane crash. But the different part about it is that you can uh, you're not really crashing the plane as much as you're jumping out of the plane, when it's crashing. So you got three spots where you can like jump out, and depending on the one that you choose is the beginning of the game is going to be a little bit different. So I'm hoping that could be something interesting for folks to do, when you get a little bit of a different kind of beginning of the game. So once you land into the world, you start you'd be getting like the first mission again, depending on where you land, and then you're gonna of course the game has NPCs because all the games that I've played that had NPCs, I really enjoyed. The ones that didn't, like I didn't, I still enjoyed because, the mechanics of the particular games, like um, let's say Doom comes to mind, right? But when it comes to, favorite games, the ones that have an NPC that you interact with, Dying Light, Dishonored, even the Dead Island games, like Dead Island 2 right now, I've really enjoyed that. It adds to the story, and that's what I like. The type of shooter games. I think the other one that I was coming to mind was Wolfenstein, but that one does have NPCs, and you interact with a lot of them, and they add to the story so much. Like I get it, kind of the mindless shooting in Doom is fun, and that's their brand. That's where they're at. But when it comes to if somebody was to ask me, what's a game that you liked, I'm definitely going to mention one of those that had some, NPCs interactions, and that's where I'm going to rely on that. So you're going to be interacting with the NPCs, and they're going to give you the missions either via radio or via you like meeting the NPCs and talking to them. And as you progress through the game, that's how you're gonna kind of discover what's going on. The whole backstory. So hopefully that made sense. If hopefully it sounded a little bit interesting. And yeah, that's this project called On Your Own. There's as far as combat interactions, there's like just a little simple kind of fisty cuffs, I think is what you call them. Where you can like have a little bit of a spar with the enemy, and pretty limited as far as weapons. There's just your um, the actually the weapons that I really enjoy using in other games. Like a pistol, a bow, and a rifle, and of course the kind of the stealth takedowns. But as far as combat, that's pretty much the extent of the game. Like I said, hopefully that made it interesting. And if after all of that you're still with us, thank you. All right, so that's a little bit too many items in here. So let's do 10 maybe. Oh, I think it's actually kind of getting from the other side. I'm not entirely sure. How do you make it so that it's not? How do you determine which end it goes to? Spline left or where was the other one? Or spline left. I think that's what I was looking at. Doesn't really matter apparently. All right, so let's try and place this. And maybe 9. Would that do it? Because I also have, oh, I think it's actually 8 pieces. So yeah, if you're interested, I can quickly jump into game mode and show you, because I mean, right around this area, there's a little bit of interaction going on. So it might be, if you're interested, I can quickly show you some of that, and also how the missions are being conveyed to you, because what I'm trying to do is have a very limited UI, and I'm still playing with it to see how it works. But I can show you how you can see the current missions that you're giving, and also a little bit of how you can see what you have in inventory. But yeah, let me place this in here, 'cause that would be, I think, the last one, the last item, and we can jump into game mode real quick. Come on, too much. Oh, what did I do? Why would you change it to that value? And I just mentioned earlier, apologies for being a little bit too anal, I would say, maybe about this, trying to get these in to fit exactly where they're supposed to. There we go. All right, so that kind of covers the entire perimeter. And let's also add, because this is one of the baddies, and add a little turret to this. It's missing the turret at the moment. It's a static. If anybody's curious, this is a static vehicle, so it's not like Far Cry where you can, the enemies drive around. And let me see, turret. Where is that? And another thing, this thing on the top, this is kind of a detection mechanism that I'm trying to use. And right now, unfortunately, the material is broken. Let's see if we can quickly fix it without spending too much time on it. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, um, I'm sorry. Yeah, the material unfortunately is broken, so I'm gonna need uh, to fix this. I was thinking maybe I can show you how it is, but um, unfortunately not. Basically, let me see. I think the enemy has it's like it's well this one I was just testing it, but basically that little light bar fills up when it starts detecting the player, and once it goes to red, that's when it's going to start shooting. It's so it's not like an instantaneous detection. And I was trying to do it this way because, like I said, I'm trying to keep as minimal of a UI as possible. I'm thinking maybe from the detection standpoint, I might want to give a kind of a UI indication of and as minimally invasive as possible. So let me figure out if yeah, I was hoping that it might work, but it's not. It's yeah. So I'm gonna fix that by next week. But I just wanted to show you how this behaves when when it's gonna detect the player. And I think I'm just gonna leave it there. So let's jump into game mode real quick, and I'll also show you like the enemy as well. And the fisticuffs look kind of bad at the moment because the reaction animation and the hitting animation is not quite perfect. So they kind of look like this. So like I said, and the enemy has a little bit of a broken animation when it comes to the idle. So that's why it looks like it's about to headbutt you. But so that's kind of how it looks. I still need to make it a little bit better. But I just want to put this guy down a little at the moment so that and yeah, it's definitely taking way too many punches. It's like a mini boss. There you go. So it goes down. So let me show you how the other one works. Like this truck over here, like that enemy truck. And let's see, can I actually troubleshoot it? Oh, there you go. So it started shooting. So it's this turret right here. As you can see, it's kind of spinning around, focusing on me and just, kind of going to town. So that's why, you wouldn't be able to enter this facility via the front gate, so to speak. And that's why, you're going to be directed to the side entrance here. And this is where we're going to have a little bit of a lockpicking mini game happening. So let's add that in since I'm finished with kind of building the surroundings. Let's add the the door, and that's also a good thing for me to check if my lockpicking mechanics is still working when interacting with the door. And let's try this out. First, I want to place a door, and I still need to I really need to clean some of this out when it comes to some of these doors because they're kind of messy. Like the classes themselves, you can see I have way too many of those. So the player is gonna start from outside, and let's see if it can interact with that door. And I also need to place some lock picks so the player can pick up the lock picks. Oh, I was thinking hopefully I did not lockpick box. Okay, so there it is. So I should be able to pick up that box of lockpicks. Let me paint the terrain a little bit so we can actually have like a path going on around here just to direct the player as well. And let me see, paint and just use the dirt layer. And since this also removes the vegetation on it, so there you go. So we have like a little bit of a path going on here. And now will be kind of the rubber meets the road and see if we can, if the lockpick mechanism still works. And that guy, so that guy is actually in a patrolling mode. He just is not noticing me at the moment. And you know, it tells you at the bottom, find some lockpicks first. So let's pick up the lockpicks and let's try and lockpick this door. And did that? There you go. So the mouse moves. It's basically like you've seen the lockpick kind of in other games. That's exactly how it looks. Come on. And after a while, yeah, you're gonna break the lockpick. Where is the point for this? Oh, there it goes. All right. So now the door opens. Let's replace the mesh itself with the actual door for this from this little package. And door. Let me search for it real quick. And I think it might be this one. There it goes. Hey, Vichax, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? All right, well, I'm guessing at this point. Oh man, this is kind of a bummer. Actually, maybe not. Let me see. Did I make this one smart-ish enough for other? Because, you know, the not necessarily a problem, but this door is flipped, right, compared to what my asset was. Let me see if this is going to work uh, for for this thing here because yeah, I'm trying to match it to to what the asset is. So I'm going to try and position it as best as I can. Come on, there it goes. But the question is, when I interact with it, will it be kind of messy as far as the where the camera is going to be placed? So let's see. What I did do is I did put uh, a camera transform for the placement of the where the lockpick is being, you know, for the camera placement of it. And let's change this to be 1. There it goes. and 0. So it's locked, or I mean it's closed. There he goes. Perfect. Oh, so why the camera attached with the gate? Well, that's the camera for the transform. That's the camera for the lockpicking mechanism. So like here, if I place it over here, my hope is that once you interact with it, it's gonna it's gonna transition over to this placement here of the door. Now, the one thing that, like I said, I'm not entirely sure is I can recall why was this so this is the icon, so it tells you that there's a door, but couldn't remember what's going on with the arrow. So I'm thinking that might be something related to the rotation, but let's see how messy this is gonna be. All right, so we're getting in here. I'm trying to lockpick. It says, find some lockpicks first. And let's pick up the lockpicks. All right, so yeah, this is what I was telling you when it comes to the, come on. Oh, I broke one of the lockpicks. There we go. So yeah, let's see. Oh, actually it worked perfect. So I was kind of afraid. I was looking at that arrow that I couldn't remember if it's something related to the positioning of the player or what. So there it is. And uh, I mentioned that these doors that have lockpicks, let me place this a little bit further back because the lockpick animation thing kind of went through the door itself. So, not the best looking thing. So yeah, there you go. That's there. Those are in place right now. So let's see if this is a little bit better positioning. I was trying to make this as extensible as possible. So if it's like, if I use it on different size doors or anything like that, or the lock pick might be in a different position, that could also work, right? So let's oh, I need the lock picks. I forgot. Yeah, so this is, I'm not entirely sure of where the placement of, how the placement of this is taken into account. See if I move this further back. If it was based on this camera transform, as far as um, where that the mechanism is, yeah, so I guess it was based on that. And so now it's not like, behind that fence. Come on, where is it this time? Is it on the other side? There it goes. Let's see where that dude is at. Oh, he's still walking around. All right, so yeah, there he goes. Inside, it looking pretty good. The reflection on these particular apparatuses, they actually look a lot better than, I mean, that's an asset that I made with my unprofessional way of doing things, but these don't have collisions, so I'm kind of walking through them, which, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be. And when it comes to the player detection, oh, I think he saw me. So he's coming at me. He's going into full flight mode. He's trying to headbutt me. Nope, you can't get this. Nope, nope. I'm gonna run away from you. All right. Well, yeah. So Perfect. Actually, we got to test some more of the mechanics. I was a little bit afraid that after I migrated my project from that bloated thing that I previously called this game into a new project, and there's I was expecting there will be a lot more issues, but actually it's actually pretty good. Okay, so for the rest of the stream, what I was thinking of doing is maybe adding a little bit more assets around this, kind of just filling out the scene, maybe some barrels, kind of the random asset filler stuff. And as usual, let's use that IScatter tool, and we'll probably throw in like some barrels, or let's see if hopefully I didn't misplace any of those. Maybe like some water tanks or something like that. I think I might have a few of them around here. So let me go. So one of those is going to be that one. It's kind of a little bit too many of them. So maybe let's do 20. Let's adjust the scale because they're kind of kind of a wide too wide of a mixture of these. So I'm going to keep them all at the same size. Hey, Atlantica. Yeah, the Fallout lockpicking. You know what? I can't remember that one, but it is almost identical. I mean, I'm not gonna say I copied it, but it's pretty similar to how Dying Light is doing it. If it's not, if not identical, but yeah, Dying Light is almost, or I am almost like Dying Light. And I haven't played Scum. I've heard some good things about it, but yeah, I've never actually played Scum, Vichax. All right, let's add a couple of more of these uh, in here. Let me do like one of these barrels and maybe one of the green ones as well. There we go. Oh, and I need to kind of adjust the rotation a little bit. They're all rotated the same way. And 0 to 360. There it goes. And also, let's adjust where was the scatter area? Let's do 200 by 200. There we go. So now these are kind of stacked on top of each other, which is cool, but these ones are not cool. And that's where I was trying to figure out how this works when it comes to display list instances. I think looks like it's the opposite, but I was trying to play around with some of these options, but again, it seems like they would still overlap. Oh, but the thing is, I haven't tried this one. That's actually a good. Let's see if this might help. Yeah, they overlap, but they still kind of not not the best case there. I'm thinking at this point I might just do the same thing I did with the boxes inside of the house where they were I just did a simulation, and that way it can give me a couple of a couple of interesting ways to do it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place these in here because they look kind of cool, and it's a pretty decent spread. So and around them, I'm gonna do the first of all, I want to see about the collisions on this. Query only, no physics collision, collision enable. There we go. So let's leave it here. And I'm going to add a couple of these other ones like that and that and that. And I'm going to try and simulate some physics with these because I was having a little bit too much fun with the boxes. And that could make them, give them a little bit of an interesting placement. We'll see how they fall into place. And so let's grab these 6 and we'll do to simulate physics. So let me just save real quick. And let's try and simulate physics and see where they fall. Hopefully they're going to interact with that thing below them. Come on. There they go. They kind of, I'm wondering why they didn't interact with this one. Let me try and move this around a little bit. Huh. There's no collision. I thought there was like there's going to be collision to that, but apparently there wasn't any collision to be said. I can like move them through this. That's kind of a bummer, but let me see. What's the collision for these looking like? I remember these being just having a good collision. Yeah. So maybe a little bit too busy, but it's looking like let me try something here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep these and we'll see where they fall. So all these pieces, let me try and actually rotate them a little bit like that. All right, so they're set to simulate physics. All right, let's simulate some physics. And the reason I have them all selected is so that I can apply the final position of them. Yeah, there you go. So that's what I'm expecting, like when but I'm not sure why that one did not behave as I was hoping it would. All right, so at this point I can hit K and it saves state. And I can just exit out of this and uncheck simulate collisions or physics. And there we go. That's actually looking pretty good. Adding a little bit of a variety along with these barrels here. Okay, that's some simulating physics right there. I'm not sure how I feel about this tree in the middle of things here. I kind of like it, but I'm I'm not sure. I might do some weed whacking around here. All right, and let's see. I think in here I was thinking maybe there's like a little bit more than can be added, and oh yeah, I was thinking that could be like a bed or something that we can add in here, but I'm not sure if I have any beds remaining around here. So this something like that might work. There's a desk, there's that. That kind of fills some things in. And let's also add some kind of just some scatter or little trash type objects around here. Yeah, need some things to hide from enemy, I guess. Well, unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure if how you can set, because this is landscape vegetation, this particular tree, and or landscape grass. So that's why I might just remove it. It's or I think the size it's a little too big because the enemy is going to be able to see through this. It's not an occluder for AI. When it comes to that, I'm not sure. I think those are kind of special classes. They're not. I'm not sure if they're vegetation. I'm not sure if you can. I was kind of thinking you can set vegetation to be occluder, but I haven't looked into it too much. There might be a way. So, yeah, I'm missing a door. I need to add a door at that point, to one point. Let's add a chair for this desk and see what we can find out here. Couple of chairs out here. And back to my IScatter tool to add some like light, like some kind of debris type stuff. And this, I was showing a while back that this particular asset can also take actors. And I've created some actors that are actual decals. And let's clear this. And the decal here, let me see, where did I put that? Somebody help me remember. mm, so, something like this. This is what I was thinking of. And I'm thinking that this particular, where is it? Oh, am I running into some kind of lack of streaming memory? Let me do this other one. Maybe it's a little bit more visible. Yeah, so as you can see, it places some decals. I don't think they're very visible on the stream, but and maybe that is because the material is kind of busted. No, the material is fine. But this is what I'm doing with it is a way to create like tire tracks, and at least that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. Let me try and up the streaming value here. I'm not sure why it's streaming the pool size. Not sure if I'm running out of memory in my pool size here. Whoa, not 80,000. I think 10,000 should do. There we go. I think that might have helped with that. And let's see if I can show you. Yeah, it's not that visible. Let me try and bump up the alpha. Okay, so there it goes. And so that's the decal. Let me see if I can get it to spawn some of them. And I'm not entirely sure why it doesn't spawn any. I'd have to take a look at this. This is pretty useful for that type of work, when you have like a bunch of like say, cracks on the road or other types of damage and you want to put it on a spline that follows the road. And I actually had it at one point. I'm not sure if I deleted it or still have it. Oh yeah, there he goes. It's right here. So this is a kind of the example. Let me paint a little bit of dirt so I can remove some of these, some of this grass. Bear with me for just 1 second here. All right, so yeah, the example was that these uh, these kind of cracks on the road, they're set with this kind of concrete patch decal, and you can set how many you want. They're like on a spline. You can arrange them in a way that looks kind of natural because with some of these concrete patches, they're usually like kind of perpendicular to the road. I haven't seen many of them be like a completely 45-degree angle or something like that. So this is kind of how I'm doing some of these patches so that I'm, quickly placing them with this tool. And that's what I was hoping to use over here, but I think this other decal is not working properly. So I just need to, I'm gonna need to take a look at that material. But in the meantime, let's try and get some kind of dirt, you know, small pieces of trash or some other things like that in here. And let me see, where is that planer? Let's do, I think planer down should be fine, but let's get some trash bits. See if I can find something like some kind of litter type stuff. All right, so not sure if you might be able to see them, but let's see if they get in here. So yeah, there it goes. So they're placed right there. If I do a little bit more, there they go. And I was talking about collisions. So what I'm trying to do, let me add collisions to this. Add a box simplified collision. And let's try and resimulate this one. Let's see if any of them get scattered on top of that little box. There they go. Okay. So we have some of this, they're kind of low res, so I need to take a look and see if I can find any better little trash kind of things. But they get scattered around. They're like kind of little packages of things. I might for some of them, it might be a little bit better to keep them close within their actual scale. Some of them, they would work, like say vegetation, to have a different scales. But for some of these, it's you know kind of dealer's choice, your choice. All right, so let's do some random rotations in here as well. And of course, this was like a really quick pick as far as which one of these, sets of floor trash I'm gonna go with. Better ones could be had, of course, but let's see, maybe some like little random cables. Yeah, and this one might be a little too large, so I'm gonna try and make it a little smaller like that. That might not sure if that's the best of them. There you go, kind of like something like that are scattered around here. They're definitely more visible, of course, at least with these assets, a little bit more visible on this darker surfaces. Around here, you might notice some of these cables, but they add a little bit more to the world. All right, of course, we can't not have a dumpster around here and some trash bags. And of course, for this one, I'm also going to use this particular IScatter tool and add some trash bags. Yeah, the only thing I don't like is that yeah, they usually with trash bags, they're at least kind of stacked in one place, or they're not so much as, in the middle of the field or, the middle of the compound. So let me find something as to that regards. I think I'm just going to use this, but turn this into like remove. Gonna have maybe like 2 or 3 different trash bags. They all use the same material, but they got different shapes, so that should be helpful. And I'm gonna try and see about scattering them around, all at their world size. And for particular, like these ones, you can probably manipulate the size a little bit, and in my distribution method, I'm just gonna try and make this one a spline down. And that way I can like specify where these along the spline where they go. And maybe they're definitely way too many. But I'm gonna start back here and let's see how do we want to place these. Maybe alongside this back wall. And let's remove that one. Kind of like that. They're way too many. And yeah, they seem to stack, but then again, I'm not entirely sure how the collision is handled when they stack. And let's reduce the count maybe to 20. And also let's reduce the spread so they're not so wildly placed like that. And the option for this was, I think method 1 is so that they don't seem to like spawn on top of each other. There we go. And we can add like some trash bins around here. Oh, actually, that's a really tiny one. It's not it's kind of like an office trash bin, just to fill in the scene. And a dumpster. I think I might have one. All right, so yeah, the whole thing is starting to come together, and yeah, and we got to look a little bit of gameplay. Let's for the to end this, something that I'm not sure why, but I keep going back to the parkour kind of games, with Dying Light comes to mind, because I think they do parkour really good and like climbing and everything. So let's try and climb this tower. And in my case, it's just basic uh, ladder. It's not like grabbing onto ledges, and not to that kind of level. But and let's see, grab that. Let's lockpick the door here. See if I can get it. I always sucked at this. Oh man, and I broke one of the toothpicks. Toothpicks, lockpicks. Man, I thought it was like, there it goes. Okay. So let's try and navigate back here. Yeah, so see, these have collision, which is great. I'm not entirely sure why I can't mantle over them because collision shouldn't be that bad. Oh yeah, so that guy, I think he saw me. But let's ignore him. He's not going to be able to follow me up the ladder. And we'll test to see how climbing up there goes and, watching around the environment. Dude, would you just let me climb? Oh yeah, and there you go. This is a good test because I'm not sure why. I think I'm stuck into like a combat mode when, oh man, I did not expect this. Like I'm stuck in like a combat mode while climbing the ladder. So, but let me move my player start from here. I'm gonna move it inside so we can skip over the whole um, lockpicking section, and let's actually take care of this guy real quick. All right. Yeah, there's some camera adjustments needed to be done there. Let's try and see if we can climb now. All right, so yeah, I still need to do the head when it's climbing so you can not see your chin or your forehead. Let's climb up and see if all right, the collisions here, you can't bounce out of the thing, the antenna. Let me turn on desktop audio as well. Not a whole lot happening, is more just the kind of the bird singing, I guess. So, okay, we're almost to the last level. There he goes. And it still performs pretty well considering it's like um, all the level is out there. Let me see if I can minimize some of these tabs that I have open. See if it can get any better. Yeah, so right around 40. Even better. 60. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah, but I mean, like, there's still some of the things I was mentioning that I need to place on a grid, so they're not loaded once you're all the way up here. But yeah, pretty good climb. And kind of a fall to the ground and instant death. Okay, so that's a good way to end the stream. Thank you everybody so much for stopping by. I think that was, to me at least, that was a very productive session. Got quite a few things done, and appreciate everybody stopping by, taking time out of the day. And I hope to see you guys on next week's stream. We'll do some more of this. And yeah, Atlantica, thank you so much. You too. Have a great rest of your day and or night, and a great week coming up. All right, take care, everybody. Thanks again. Bye.